Hey Justin, how's it going, man? Good to hear from you again. Hope I was able to help you out in some way with that last critique, and hopefully I'll be able to help you out in some way with this critique. I took a look at the shot. It looks great. It's a really fun shot. A lot of body mechanics. It's really cool. What you got so far is great. I made a few notes here and there. I think there's some quick things that you can adjust to call the shot done, and I can also go a little bit more anal if you'd like. That didn't sound right. Anal retentive if you'd like with the notes. Um, God. Let's take a look.
Sidekick! Rabbit punch! Oh, you want to spray me? How about this? Arm grab! Hey! Snap kick! Sidekick!
Okay. The first note. Oh. I thought that maybe what you can do, because you're so tight on the face initially, I thought that if you pulled out a little bit to show a little bit more of the body, you could be like, oh, you want to spray me? You know, you could have more. It's a good opportunity because the shot is so heavily body mechanics. It'd be a good opportunity to get some acting in there with like, oh, you want to spray me? You know, just kind of like, what's up? You know, oh, you want to spray me? So if you pull out, maybe you can kind of get that fun stuff in there. Because with it so tight, it's hard to get um, that attitude in the face. Oh, you want to spray me? Unless you do something like this, like, oh, you want to spray me? You know, like have the neck going. Oh, you want to spray me? Oh, yeah? What's up? You know, but I think, so you can kind of do that in tight, but I think if you were out a little bit further, you can kind of get more of that lean forward, neck action, hands, you know, oh, you want to spray me? Yeah, and maybe he's talking out of the side of his mouth. Oh, you want to spray me? Oh, what's up? You know? So I think that's kind of a fun opportunity for a little bit of acting in the shot right there. Um, the main note.
Rabbit punch! Oh, you want to spray me? How about this?
I mean, you have a little bit of that, you know. Oh, you want to spray me? How about this? But I just think if he was more like, you know, kind of lean forward, like, oh, you want to spray me? How about this? How about this then? What's up? Oh, you want to spray me? How about this? Talking about cha. Um,
Arm grab! Arm grab! Hey!
so you can see I put a little, there's artifacts of little drawings that I did over there. The main thing that I saw when I saw this shot the first time was this arm grab.
Arm grab! Hey!
I think that the main note I had is making that way more powerful than it is. Because right now he kind of goes, arm grab, I. But when he comes up, his hand is kind of claw-like. It's not like a very appealing hand pose. And then when he comes down, he's not fully locked. So, oh, whoops, let's go backwards. So you can see he kind of comes up, and his hand is sort of in this weird claw position. Um, and then when he comes down, I like how he goes up first, but then, oh, wait a minute, he doesn't. But then, like, that's the biggest fist that he gets, is kind of like this thing. It's not really a full fist. And so I think what it would be cool is like, arm grab, I arm grab, I. So he kind of comes up with this like, I'm gonna grab you around the neck, and I know this is still claw-like, but the hand pose now is kind of like this. It's kind of, you know, I kind of want to see something like more open, like if you're gonna grab my neck to kill me or to do the arm grab or whatever, like this doesn't look conducive to grabbing something. So if he was more open, like then he can grab or whatever he's going to grab to do the arm grab, you know, make it look like he's going to grab something rather than being claw-like. So arm grab and then up start to pull in, get real tight on the way down, and then some settle. Arm grab, aye. Arm grab, aye. So he just goes up. He looks like he's going to grab something, a little anticipation, and then start the claw or start the fist on the way down. Get the fist on the way down, bring it in tight, and then settle. Aye. Making that really powerful will really sell the shot better, I think, in my personal opinion. Okay. A bunch of the other notes that I had were our body mechanics notes. So just for the sake of not putting you to sleep, I'm going to go to what I think is the next potentially acting note, and then I'll do the really boring body mechanics stuff. So.
Snap kick! Side kick! Rabbit punch!
So there's something about the rabbit punch part to me that is, and I don't know how to explain this exactly. He kind of goes rabbit punch, like it's kind of like, I don't know if something is syncing right with the audio versus what you've animated. So it's because he's kind of like rabbit punch, like he's trying to get it out. And maybe that's also part of the shot. I don't know where this is coming from, and I know this is your interpretation of that. But I think that there's something there that just doesn't sit right exactly with me. Again, this is just my opinion. But here's what I think would smooth it out. That is a great opportunity for some sort of gag, especially because it's the rabbit punch. So I was thinking you could do something like rabbit punch, you know, because what is a rabbit punch really? Like what, you know, so if you could rabbit punch or rabbit punch, something, you know, or insert other gag here. I don't know how a rabbit would punch. Would a rabbit punch like rabbit punch or something like that? But I think putting a gag there would kind of smooth out the sort of punch, because he's like rabbit punch, and it's like it's not really clear because did he do a rabbit punch? Is that like that doesn't, you know? I don't know if that's the. It just seems like it would be funnier from a gag standpoint, but also make a little bit more sense if he did something that was kind of obviously a rabbit punch, or you know, or maybe he has a carrot or something. I don't know. But just I think if there was something like that in there, I think it would smooth it out a little bit more as far as readability or flow, just the overall flow of the shot.
Well, you want to spray me? How about this? Arm grab! Aye! Snap kick! Side kick! Rabbit punch!
You know, because he's kind of like rabbit punch. I think I kind of want to see what that rabbit punch is, and then when he says it, it'll be like it'll make more sense or something, you know. So I think that I would, if it were my shot, I would put some sort of gag in there where he does some sort of rabbit punch, whether it's this sort of bunny ear thing, or maybe he hops around like a rabbit and then does a little punch or something. That would make it funnier. I don't know if you want to do that or not, but I think that it would be. For some reason, I feel like something like that would smooth the shot out, especially because it's at the end. What else did I want to mention? Okay, globally, and I think I saw this in your other shot too, and I'll just try to mention this very quickly, is really watch your arcs and look for opportunities to get more arcs in there. There's a couple spots in here where just where he's talking, and I think in your previous shot where the character was talking, where you can really play with the jaw. Because right now a lot of your jaw animation just seems like it's just going up and down, which is what's that? Was it just the Y rotation? Is that what that is? And you can, the great thing about that jaw is you can go this way and you can go this way. You can, you can, in addition to up and down, you can go left and right, and then you can also spin it like this. That's a good opportunity to get arcs in your jaw movement, and that goes a long way to making really appealing lip sync. So just quickly as an example, where he says arm grab,
How about this? Arm grab.
and I'll try to use the drawings that are there. Arm grab. So basically what I'm drawing in here is that if you could have him, and the danger here is kind of making him look like a retard, you don't want that, but you do want some sort of appealing arm grab, really make him intense, arm grab, and if he says arm kind of more off this side of his mouth, like I've drawn in here, and then have the jaw circle around into the grab. Right? See how the jaw kind of circles around this way to get up into that ooh, which is here. Grab. So he can come out of the ooh. He can go this way, up and down. Big S curve. So arm, jaw swings around this way up into the ooh, grab, then I go this way into this. Okay, so I'm probably making no sense right now, but basically what I'm trying to get across is arm grab. Just a little subtle bit of just moving that jaw around, especially on the, I love anytime you watch cartoons like SpongeBob or something, anytime they go into an ooh, they really push the jaw out, and then they, they use the angles to make it a really cartoony, like look at when I say, rawr, just doing that, you can see how my jaw is moving that way. But again, don't push it so far where it looks like you don't want to do Bill Murray and Caddyshack, but just little instances like that will, rah, rah, it'll just make it more powerful and more appealing. Okay, I'll shut up on that. Okay, boring body mechanics stuff, and I'll try to zip through this because I'll put myself to sleep. Hips settle at 100. Okay, again, globally, like to what your last shot compared to this shot, same sort of stuff going on. Watch your arcs, and a little disclaimer I want to say now is that I don't know if any of these things that I'm pointing out would help at all, because right now you've got this really nice, snappy, powerful karate shot, and I'm afraid that if you do any of the things that I'm saying, it will smooth it out to a point where it just looks too flowy and muddy and stuff. But I think that the principles are still there to where if it was done quickly enough, it would look, because it's still body mechanics, it still kind of has to flow and move around. So mainly what I'm talking about is if you look at the hips here, I feel like they come in like this, and then I'm really good at making marks I don't want. Okay. They look like they're doing that. They hit and then they come back up the same way they came in. And it would be kind of nice if they settled and did that. Kind of come up and go the other way. So if you look at him, he comes down and then he goes back up, and I feel like he needs to go forward a little bit more. I think the other thing that you could look at here is if you delayed the hips a little bit more. And hips are a really central thing to all animation, but I'm just wondering if you delayed the hips and the spine a little bit more coming through here, right? And get that foot down earlier because he's trying to land himself. And then settle. Maybe this will be back even further. This would probably be down a little bit more here. And then he would go into this sort of up. So see how it kind of cushions and then it goes forward? I don't know if that's making much sense because my spacing is off. But get that foot down so that he can land himself. Because right there, when the foot comes down, it looks like, even though the hip goes down a little bit further still, it just looks like it looks like they're both hitting at the same time. There's like such giant spacing that if you just adjust the spacing so the foot is a little further down here, it'll look better. And then have that hip arc kind of settle into something like that. Not so much that it makes the shot super muddy, but just so that it's more correct, you know, because he is quickly moving in that location. So if he's going over there, he's gonna settle in that direction. He's not gonna go, you know, there's still gonna be, if you land, there's gonna be a little bit of forward movement after you hit. And then maybe it might come back a little bit, but mainly that you're going to be continuing to move in that direction. It's just going to slow way down. Okay, quickly moving on. Hand lock, 99 to 100. Right in here, you look at the left arm, that little fist right here. Right, he's zipping along. See, I've charted it. Dot, 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 99. It stops. It's in the same location at 100. Barely moves at 101, and then it starts to kind of move again. So watch that, because it just stops in midair, crosses two frames. Feet, 123. Okay, generally, the feet, there's some, I think it's in your curves. The feet are kind of jostling around a little bit on the rotation and the movement. So, what was the frame? 123, 124. Okay, so look at the right foot here. You can kind of see that he's pushing off to go to screen left, but the feet, this right foot, if he's pushing off, this thing can't move, and it's kind of slightly moving, and then it slides a little bit, and then he's pushing off. But really, it shouldn't move at all. Really, it's the hips that should be moving. Even though he's coming up on his toe, even as he's coming up on his toe, it's the hips that should be going that way. The foot shouldn't move until the hips are so far away that the foot has to carry along with it, you know? The foot's not going to go out here and then come back. It's just going to push off and then drag with it. That'll make that jump seem more powerful. And then also watch the screen left foot here too. As you can see, there's probably some little rotation hiccup in the curves. It's kind of popping up and then it's going down. And just really watch the foot placement, because it's kind of even across there. If it's kind of looks like it's going down on the X, on the Y, and then it sort of slides in. It just seems like it's jostling around more than it needs to. And then on the landing, big one here, that right foot, as it hits, like that should be the hit. It should be hit there. It shouldn't move again. Bop, bop, should be down. Because it settles there, and then it goes backwards there, and then that's where it's planted. So that's it's kind of strange. It needs to plant and stay planted. Hips at 130. Whoops. Same sort of thing going on here. You can see my drawings. I'm just wondering if you drag the body a little bit more, keep the hips back, and then, because right now if you look at the hip arc, it kind of hits a wall and comes right back again. And I think what I'm suggesting is a little bit more of this. So the hips, he comes in off that jump, and then here's the low point, right? He's coming off that jump arc. Now he's going to start to try to kick up and go into that kick. So now we're getting into the up part of this curve, right? But he should he should go up for like one more frame and start to loop around this way and then settle down. Okay, so he's at the top part of the arc right now, and then he's starting to settle down. So the curve looks like this. So you've got a curve in there. See what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. So he's coming off the top part of the curve. This is his jump. He's at the bottom part of his curve. Now he's going to go up into that kick. The hips have moved in that direction, and they've gone up a little bit. Now they've gone up a little bit, maybe forward a little bit. Yeah. Now they've gone back and up a little bit. Now they've gone down and that way into the settle. So that gives you that. And it's got to be subtle, otherwise it's going to look really muddy. Or again, I'm not sure, without doing this myself, I'm not sure how muddy this is going to look with all these little arcs that you could throw in there. But I'm just pointing this out as something that you might want to think about. Hips settle at 147. Oh, so generally because he's karateing, and I think in terms of, like, I kind of, in my mind, I was thinking of tennis, where they always tell you to be in the ready position, you know, and you think of a tennis player, they're always kind of there, and they're going back and forth as they're ready, and karate guys kind of do the same thing. You know, they're just kind of like, you know, like those video games where they're in that position, they're just kind of bouncing back and forth. So here, again, the hip, he kind of comes into this landing and then sticks. The hips kind of like are there, and I just feel like if he just settled, if there's a little bit of an arc, if he just kind of came down, you know, and just a little bit of a hip settle, you know, because he kind of comes down and then he does the, but if he can come off that thing and then, you know, it just gives it a little bit, you know, it just makes him seem more karate, physical, ready position type of a thing. I noticed the pupil there on 170. The left side pupil is hidden by the brow, if that could be kind of pulled out a little bit. Head at 168. Oh, the head here, something's going on. It kind of comes up and then goes back down. It comes up for a frame and then goes back down. And there again, you might have an opportunity for a little arc. And then the rabbit punch, which I talked about already. So I think technically stuff, you can look at loosening up the jaw and watching your arcs, but with this shot, it looks great right now. It looks great. It's very snappy. It's very cool. I think I highly recommend doing the rabbit punch, because the more powerful you make that, it's just gonna make that sing. Because right now it's kind of like, I would suggest, you know, coming up into a good grab, like he's gonna grab somebody's neck, hand pose, and then, you know, anticipate up, start to make the fist, come to a really tight fist as you're coming down, and then bring it down, stop it, and then settle it from that heavy action, you know, like, arm grab, arm grab, I, arm grab, I, arm grab, I. Really, open hand foes. Ah. Yeah. That'd be fun. What if he was looking in the camera when he did? Arm grab. I. I don't know. It's up to you. And then the rabbit punch, something at the end. Um, oh, I totally just rabbit punched my pen across my desk. Now I'm gonna have to go get that out. But something rabbit punch, either the gag or something to. I don't know how to explain why it doesn't feel right to me, but it just feels like if there was an actual rabbit punch in there, maybe it'd be like a rabbit punch, just kind of complete. It would just kind of bring the shot more to closure or something. I think that's it. I've probably rambled on too far, but it looks great now. I would just fix that. That's my main note. That was the first thing I saw when I saw the shot was that could be strengthened up a lot more. And then I would do something with the rabbit punch if possible. And then moving forward, watch your arcs and see if you can start playing with loosening up the jaw a little bit. Hope that helped in some way. If not, don't worry about it. If anything wasn't clear, let me know and I'll try to clarify. But good job. Excellent work. Another great shot. Very fun. Very physical. Very snappy. I like it. So keep up the good work, man. You're doing great. Take care. Talk to you later.